Welcome to my channel, YouTube channel. Name's Braven. If you don't know who I am, welcome. I'm sure you guys are all very curious about this video. This is an update of my review of the Blackshark V2, which is sitting right here, and then the Blackshark V2 Pro, which is sitting right here. I'm also in this update since I am mainly, unfortunately, I hate to say this, but I'm unfortunately a Warzone streamer and Cold War. But since I'm mainly those games, I'm going to show you my Warzone settings specifically. I might just pull up my Cold War settings just in case those that are curious in Cold War. But that's because I just main those games. That's what most of my content comes from, and that's where most of my skill is in majority of every game I play. So I'm going to show you my settings for audio in that, along with the review of these headsets and also THX spatial audio. Now, good thing about this video is because there is an update that a couple updates actually happened, but the most recent update I have noticed success in THX being fixed. However, I got to show you in Warzone specifically, could be Cold War 2, but I think Cold War was fine. I think Cold Wars are already automatically fixed, but Warzone specifically had an issue with the THX spatial being bugged, which it still, I believe, does, but the other version of it's fixed. It's hard to explain, but I'll explain it in the video. It's very simple what you do, but it's just hard to explain why it's like that. No idea. Never been like that before, but apparently fixed for some people that I've told to already, and then it also fixed for me, and audio is perfectly fine now. So, before I continue with the video, though, it does mean a lot to me if you guys go follow my Twitch. That's more my main of my content is. If you guys like, Call of Duty videos, Call of Duty live streaming, other games too, obviously, like, I'm just grinding Call of Duty till Battlefield comes out. I am 100% blacklisted. I guarantee it now. I've proven it on stream. But regardless, there is sometimes we get some good games. So and there's a lot of funny content, and I do play with viewers too. So I do appreciate any support that comes. And if you are curious, if you want to play matches with me, maybe we can match up with all THX Spatial, and we just see if we can run the fucking lobbies. You know what I mean? That'd be great. But regardless of the situation, you guys let me know about that. But like and follow and subscribe is all I really asking for. I do appreciate all the support I get. It does mean a lot because this is it takes a lot of time to go in and play with all these settings. Like, I just finalized my EQ settings for THX Spatial in the headsets for both headsets. Different, but it's not that much different because they're very similar, but I'm going to explain in a second why. So, other than that, thank you for the support, and I appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by, and I'm glad that there's people out there having the same issues, but they're very curious on how to optimize their fucking headset, because this headset is bar none probably the best you could buy. Well, I would say the THX wired version is the best you could buy at the price point because of all the shit that you could get with it. As for gaming headsets, obviously once you go into audiophile headsets, it's a whole different ball game, but there is really good audio that comes out of audiophile headsets, not doubting that in the slightest. But that's what you require is an amp. That's when you start spending extra money on things that you really don't need to, and you have to buy an external mic and whatnot, and you don't have the mic feedback to what you hear when you're talking, and it's weird. There's a lot of things that come into hindrance with audiophile headsets, but for the price point you get, one of the best headsets, if not the best headset at $100, is the Blackshark V2. This is the wired version right here. This one's the best you can get for the price point. As for this one, it pushes up a little higher. It fits on top par with everything that is wireless, but at the same time, it's like you're spending a lot of money, and there's some headsets that give you a little bit more features, but it depends what you're looking for. If you're looking for THX Spatial, boom. Or if you're looking for, surround sound audio, this is the headset to get, no matter what. The THX Spatial is bar none the best. Period. This video will be a little longer, by the way, just so if you want to skip forward, I'll put timestamps in for just like the main things. Like, it's gonna be just a couple timestamps, but just so you guys fast forward into it. I'd rather you guys not and watch the whole video, but as I'm saying this right now and you're watching this, you can do timestamps. I would rather you guys watch the whole video so you guys get a full-on review of everything. So, obviously, I've only had the Blackshark V2 Pros for a short time, but I'm not gonna judge my opinion based off the Blackshark V2 Pro. I'm going to base off of my experience with my favorite headset so far is the Blackshark V2 wired. So, starting with this, since I have the most experience with this, right? This headset is by far the best headset I've owned. Period. Better than these. And the reason why I say that is because, again, it's the price to performance ratio that you get. This headset right here, with the way audio feedback is, the mic sounding when you dial in the mic EQ settings, all of that is bar none the best. I've gotten the best audio clarity out of these too. However, I've noticed from the difference between these and this is the audio on these are a little louder and a little more emphasized, which means it's better audio like overall on this headset. But the thing is, like, it's so close that you're spending what, $70 for the wireless feature versus the non-wireless. So if I recommend anything to save you money and you don't mind wired, get the Blackshark V2. But if you want wireless and you want that surround sound experience that's really good, then get the Blackshark V2 Pro. Another thing too is, I know a lot of people have had issues with the sliding mechanism on the Blackshark V2 wired, and I understand where you're coming from. Like, this side right here is really like hard to push in and out. Like, it has some resistance and it's lasting, but on this side, I've noticed it's a lot easier to do it. And then I've noticed at times when I'm taking my headset off, you'll see like one side's longer than the other, and it's just, I guess, the way the design is. But other than that, that's the only hindrance I've had. And on top of that, there's a volume knob. I've noticed that if you turn the volume knob all the way up, it'll cut a little bit of audio out. I don't know if that's just a problem with my headset, but it's not bad. Like, it's not like it's that big a deal, but I just know every time I tune the headset, I turn it all the way up, and then I just cut it back a little bit, like a tiny little turn. And then that right there just gives me the full audio experience. So it's nothing that big of a deal, but it could be a quality control situation. It's a slight issue. But other than that, this headset's lasting. I've fucking thrown this headset. Well, not really thrown, but I dropped it on the fucking desk and stuff. It's built really good. It's going to last. Obviously, with Call of Duty pissing me the fuck off, I do run into issues where I drop my headset. But the audio clarity's been the bar none the best. I have tested many headsets, and this headset, bar none, is literally the one that's fucking amazing to me. I'm buying the V3 series for sure when they come out with the V3 series, but the V2 series, until then, this will be the main, period. Now, I will not buy another wireless headset because I don't feel like I need another wireless headset. But as for this review, this headset is fucking amazing. Like I said, it's just more emphasized audio. So actually in EQ, I have tuned it down a bit. But bar none, other than that, it's a fucking amazing headset. It's amazing. And the mic feedback on this one, just a little more, like I said, on the actual microphone dongle, the audio feedback to me was lower than the Blackshark V2 wire, which is weird because I'm thinking it's just a transmission thing with it being wireless. But I plugged in the V2 wired's dongle into it, and it's louder, but at times when I get really loud, you can hear the audio like kind of screech out. Like, it's like, oh shit, too much EQ pushing into this headset. So it's kind of weird. So I'm not a big fan specifically of the dongle for the feedback on this headset, but the one on there, again, that's why I'm recommending if you get a headset, it's the Blackshark V2. If you want wireless, you're not going to fucking be disappointed with these. Now, as far as this headset, I haven't had the issue yet with the whatever the dongles right here, the prongs being too loose. I have yet to run into that issue. This one does feel like it's starting to loosen up, but it's not that. It's still really tight. It's like as tight as that one. So the one that's good on that side. But that's the only little hindrance. But I've only been using this headset for so long. I think I'm only coming on close to 2 months of the usage, but this headset, amazing. This headset, even more amazing. But if you need the wireless functionality, it's there. And then this headset, I turn it all the way up, and I don't really notice on the volume knob that it has that audio cutout. But like, I mean, I hear a little bit of a static when it gets to the top, so I feel like maybe it is, but it's just so barely noticeable. It's not bad, so I just tune it back. I just, from the use of doing that on this, I tune it back just a little bit, and it's still perfect clear audio, no matter what. And by the way, I'm sorry, I just woke up a little while ago, so I'm going to be a little, you know, like, I'm going to say things, and I'm going to pause, be like, oh, my mind's not fully functioning at the highest level yet. But I am going to show you guys right now THX Spatial and my settings in there, and then after, we're going to go into Call of Duty, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I set up key for key on that, so. Okay, so, we are under, I believe, let's check real quick. This looks like it is the wireless headset version, right? Yes. So this is the Blackshark V2 Pro settings, okay? Now I'm gonna just walk you through step by step. We'll make this as quick as possible for this part, but volume all the way 100. Mixer, I have THX Spatial Audio on. Windows, as you can see, I have it under Blackshark V2 Pro, but that's not when I'm playing the game. When I'm playing the game, I'm using THX Spatial Synapse, and the only reason I have it on THX Blackshark V2 right now is just so you guys can hear the music for the video. But I have it just primarily set up for that, just so you can hear the music going on and whatnot, but it has nothing to do with how I set it up in game. THX is working for me, so I do use THX Spatial. So you would have THX Spatial on in your Windows, and then you would have THX Spatial on this tab right here. It's set to manual. And the reason why I say set it to manual is because you're going to set up your custom EQ spatial mode, and it's going to primarily direct your audio in certain directions. So my thing is, I don't want to hear, like, again, I've talked about this in recent videos, but I'm just going to go through it again. I've talked about how the audio, you don't want it to too obviously to the corner, because if it's too obvious to the corner, you're going to get muddled with what's actually to the left or the right. So you want it more like it's still diagonal, like in your corners, but it's more towards the front. And then the front audio is obviously going to be clear as day, the front audio, but then now you have like, okay, this guy's got to be at some kind of angle, because audio in surround sound is still going to be like a little muddled no matter what, but it's going to be more open, so you're going to hear it at more distances. And trust me, with THX Spatial, it's very noticeable, and let me get to that in a second. So the right audio is right audio, the left audio is left audio, and then behind audio, you want to make sure it's behind but to the back a little bit so you can hear directional behind you. So that's why I have it more towards the very back but more pulled out a little bit, as you can see in the circle right here. Now, here's the thing. I know you guys see THX competitive mode. I'm still doing testing on specific games that have THX competitive mode, but I'll tell you right now, as you can see with Modern Warfare and Cold War, well, Cold War doesn't have the option yet, but Modern Warfare, I do have custom mode on instead of THX competitive. And the reason why is because people are really complaining about the chat being in Discord and whatnot that have echo tinny sound, and I had that issue happen too, and I think it's just a bug because I don't remember or recall a time where the chat was ever like that until recent issues happened. Now, when I get to Warzone, you guys can test this yourself if you're curious. I can't tell you for sure, but you guys can test this, and I'll tell you how to test it in a way to see if you guys figure out, and you guys can talk in the comment section about maybe why that's happening and maybe if this is the fix for it. I don't know if it does fix for it because I haven't tested it. I haven't used it in Discord since. So I do keep it on custom mode though, and I haven't switched it back from competitive to custom mode because of the reason that tinny sound, and I hear what you guys are talking about. However, if I'm playing solos by myself, then I run THX competitive, because THX competitive is still going to give me more optimization of space around, and the tinny sound you're not going to hear because you're not talking to anybody. So if you're playing like solos, or you're just going into a random queue in a match and you just mute everybody, like I do that a lot, so I don't have to talk to anybody, but I mute a bunch of people and then it's just me by myself, and I use THX competitive so I could have even more of a depth, which it does work. So I definitely recommend using THX competitive if you play in that way, but if you're wanting to talk with people or you don't want to hear that like annoyance of that tinny sound, then obviously you just go to custom mode, and custom mode is fucking amazing too. I've been running custom mode lately just because I haven't seen an issue with custom mode, and it gives me my custom EQ to work with, and it's really, really nice. So obviously with the Blackshark V2 Pros, the EQs are very similar versus the Blackshark V2 wired, and I'm going to show you that in a second. But I do have bass boost 100, sound normalization off, and voice clarity off. Again, you don't really need any of that. It's just the only thing that you really need is in the mic settings, and I'll get to the mic in a second, where that will perfect your voice sounding as clear as possible. But obviously it's not going to be top tier because the headset audio is always going to be headset audio, and especially with it being a wireless headset, it's got to transmit signal of that audio over instead of being wired directly connected to the computer. So we'll get to that in a second though, but here's the EQ right here. So it starts with 6, 3, 4, 5, 1, 0, 0, 2, 1, and 4. And that's for COD Warzone. Okay. Now I don't, in my wired headset, I don't have a COD, Cold War, or other profiles specified yet, which I will be getting to on another video when I do play with the headset more often, or more with the profiles. But this is all for Blackshark V2 Pro. Just for a reminder, I do have profiles. I did show that in other videos. If you want to go back to another video or the most recent THX Spatial video to watch that, you can, and it will show you everything from every single EQ on that. But right now, like I said, we're just going to stop with Warzone because Warzone is the main game that I play, and I know a lot of people playing it. So this is my EQ for Warzone specifically on this headset. And then when we go to the mic, obviously, like, you guys don't hear my headset mic audio because I'm using it now, which I'm in love with. You guys should purchase it. It's a fucking amazing stand mic for fucking 40 bucks. This is the Razer Siren Mini. Definitely buy it. But anyways, if you don't buy it and you're using the game headset audio, then you want to use your mic volume all the way up, and then you want your volume normalization all the way up, and that's it. That's all you want for your benefits. And obviously mic monitoring is just for you to hear your voice in the headset. This is why when even though I have a mic, I use my headset mic for that reason, so I can hear myself talk. Because if I unplug it, then it sounds like I could barely hear myself talk in my headset because of the audio. It's a closed back audio headset, so you can't really hear yourself. So that's why the audio with this right here, I know you guys can't hear this, but I can hear this. It's literally coming into my headset. So, and this is my mic equalizer for the Blackshark V2 Pro. It's a 7 4 5 3 3 0 1 5 3 and -1. Now that's because you have to tailor to the type of voice you have. If you have a more bassier voice, more deeper voice, or you have a more high pitched voice, you have to balance it out towards that. So I believe I'm kind of towards the middle, but I have more of a bassier side. I do get in the whinier side because I do fucking like to change my voice joking around and shit. So I know like I kind of balance it for both, but I knew my highs were too high and then I knew my bass needed to go up a little bit just to have a little bit more oomph. So something for you guys to test. That's something entirely personal, but this is a starting point. That's the whole thing about this, is a starting point. And excuse me for that one. Power saving, I mean, after 15 minutes of non-usage, that's just wireless features. It don't matter because, like, again, if I walk away and I put my headset down, I just want to make sure that, you know, my battery don't fucking die off if I leave it on. And it does happen sometimes. So now, anyways, after that, the under Razer USB sound card is the Razer V2 wired. That's what's going to come up as because it's the sound card plugged in. Okay, so now we're going to go to Razer USB sound card. This is the review for the Blackshark V2 wired, which I personally recommend, but this is what I have set up for it. So THX Spatial on again. I know it says game mode, but it always puts itself in game mode. So you just go back to custom and see it's very similar to what I had before. And then obviously remember this trick too. I know I didn't tell you this in the Blackshark V2 Pro, but this is a very important trick. Every time you turn on this app, set it to custom, click THX Spatial off, and then click it back on. And that it triggers it in the software. For some reason, it's a bug. I don't know if it's been doing it recently, but I know every time I've done it, it has helped. So every time you turn it on, just remember to custom, boom, boom, done, right? And obviously, as you can see here, I was testing with the headset for the past couple days or so, couple weeks. I've been testing with custom mode on THX Spatial, and it has been working. But obviously, that's because of the updates that have been happening. I haven't had an issue with it, and there's a reason why. Again, I'm about to get to that in a second. I have Warzone. As you can see, I have Warzone pulled up, so I can show you guys my settings in-game. But anyways, pretty much the same standard stuff for the wired version of the headset. And then obviously, you go to enhancements. I got bass boost all the way up. Nothing else on after that. And then my EQ is bumped up 1 each or 2 depending on the spot. And the reason why I found success in that is because I feel like, again, the audio quality is just a little lower because of the price point. I'm guessing the build design style. But again, it's also wired connection. So I don't know if that has something to do with it. I have no idea. But there's something that just makes it so where you just got to bump it up a little bit more because of Warzone's audio. So I have it at 7. By the way, I'm telling you, Warzone's audio is really bad. So this is definitely going to help you. So 7, 4, 5, 6, 2, 0, 1, 3, 2, and 5. So it's pretty similar. It's pretty identical, but there's a little bit of bumped up spots in here and there. But it's all about the most important audio in the game, which is your bass audio, and then obviously loud sounds in the distance. So it's balanced, tailored just to that for both headsets. But the headset of the Blackshark V2 Pro, which is the wireless version, is literally the one issue I've been having is that the bass just sometimes gets overpowered for some random reason, and it's not the headset's fault. It's COD's audio. So obviously that's some more I could kind of play with, but right now I believe it's at its sweet spot, and then from there you guys could test it yourselves. But with the Blackshark V2 wired, this is perfect. I had no complaints with this, and I've always fucking found success with it. Hopefully you guys do too. Again, all personal opinion from my testing. Hopefully you guys find something with yours. And then the mic with this headset's very similar, except I raised up the highs quite a bit. Everything's raised up pretty high because of the mic. The audio on the mic was pretty low from what I heard. So obviously now I have, I don't know why my mic volume's at 75 though. That's wrong. But again, that's how long it's been since I used the mic volume. So I've been using this mic now. So mic volume 100. Volume normalization 100, mic monitoring again 100, and then obviously this is just a starting point for you guys, and you can turn it down if you want. But I have it 4, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, and 3. But this is again starting point. I kind of tailored it based to my voice, and obviously I know I have this really high compared to what I have with the Blackshark V2, but again, I have to go back and fully test the wired version because I haven't used the wired version's headset mic for so long now, so I have no idea if this is even going to be similar with the new updates that they have. It might be even worse. I have no idea. So take this one right here with a grain of salt compared to this, because I know with this I did test it. So The wired V2, something you could start with and then play with it. Obviously, you could probably drop down the highs really low, like probably down to like 0. I know I have mine up pretty high because of that specific reason of when I was using it before, if it balanced out properly. And you guys heard my headset audio with it in multiple games, but obviously there's a lot that I could, you know, test out and practice with this one. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this. I give 10s for both headset very easily, but if I have to say, this is going to be like 11 out of 10, and then this one's going to be like, I'll say 10 or 9.5 out of 10 because of the price. Obviously the price is the selling point on that one, but if you want wireless, it's fucking amazing no matter what. It's just, you got to kind of ask yourself, $160, is there another headset out there with more features than this? Might be. For that price point, might be, but that's something you have to dig out and look. But if you want the surround sound experience, there is no competitor. This is the option. So, but I'm very pleased with my headsets. I've loved the experiences with it. I've had many good gameplays. Even in a shitty fucking developed game like Warzone, I've done really, really fucking well with myself in terms of audio clarity and hearing stuff. So I've even, in one of my videos, I got 19 kill SPR MP5 dub on solos, and I literally just, the audio was so amazing. I was like, oh yeah, this is the best I've ever heard where people are at and everything. The one key thing I gotta mention too is if you guys play games like Call of Duty Warzone and Cold War, Cold War is not so much important. You could still play music, but I would recommend if you play Warzone, just turn off music. Because right here, when I show you my audio in settings of COD, you'll see exactly why I'm telling you to turn it off. And then I'm going to tell you exactly why and explain. And obviously, if you want to go to my videos, you could see what happens when there's no music on versus when there's music on. Just depends on what mode you play, and what other stuff you do in COD. So we're going to go to COD right now. Obviously, here we are. If you guys are curious to add me to, I know Radiant Software just popped up. It always does that. Trying to optimize myself. I do have a AMD GPU, so that's why. So there's my Twitch, twitch.tv/x_Braven, pretty much. It's labeled just like that, but that's my account on Activision too. And then there's my numbers right there if you wanted to add me. Just let me know that you added me so I could add you, and you can let me know your name so when I see it, I could work with who it is and whatnot. So anyways, we're going to go to my audio settings, which is already there. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, this is very important, okay? When you don't play with music, Studio Reference is going to give you, bar none, the best audio clarity of where things are at, but the volume isn't going to be overpowering your ears. So I've been running Studio Reference with THX Spatial constantly. And for some reason, it's just worked. It's just worked at the best, highest levels. I fully recommend Studio Reference. When I had issues with THX, I was running Dynamic Home Theater and I was running Boost low, but the audio was still really bad. Studio Reference was just too low and it wasn't giving me enough audio clarity. But since I had this set up properly, now Studio Reference, I believe, is key. Again, this is all personal preference. You guys can use what you want, but Studio Reference has been successful for me in audio clarity, bar none. I know a lot of people in the chat comments too, inside my YouTube video, were talking about Windows Sonic and using surround sound like that, or Dolby Digital surround sound systems. They're just going to make your audio louder. It has nothing to do with actual audio clarity at distances. What THX does special is it's going to pinpoint audio, but it's going to keep it like a stereo sound. So if you ever listen to your headset stereo, you'll hear like literally audio's coming from the right. It'll be like just audio sound in the right. But once you put surround sound on, literally you can hear like the leak of the audio into each headset. So it doesn't sound like when he's to the right, you can hear the right audio to the left. So it's kind of simulating like, yeah, your both ears are working, but in terms of competitive gaming, you kind of want singled out audio so you know for sure this is audio from the right. So it's like it can be in real with audio sound, but you want it to be literally pinpoint. So Studio Reference, THX Spatial is literally the way to go. If you use Windows Sonic and you like it and you use Dolby Digital, by all means, don't let me tell you otherwise. I'm just telling you from personal experience. I've tested both and I just found that Studio Reference and with THX Spatial has been the best. Now I got master volume at 100. I have music volume down entirely. Don't even need it. Dialogue volume, I just need to hear if something's going on. I mean, I'm still playing with this. I don't like having somebody yell in my ear like, circle's closing. I don't like that shit, bar none. I like to have it at a certain level and then kind of drop it down because I want to be able just to hear it so I know that it's there, but it's not overpowering someone's footsteps as they're charging me, you know what I mean? So obviously 40 I believe is like a good spot to start, but I had it at like 30 before, so I'm still playing with it, kind of trying to find the right spot for that one. But again, it's nothing that important. It's just, it is important in terms of like getting it close to a gunfight. Someone's pushing you and you need that audio. This might hinder it. Effects volume 100%. Again, that could be the big difference in a situation, so you do need that up. Juggernaut music, don't even touch it. Hit marker sound, classic, because I'm an old school guy. I want the old Call of Duty classic sound. That's just a personal thing for me. I'm not a fan of the new Call of Duty age, so is what it is. Mono audio is disabled. Mono audio is just your left and right audio channels for if you're using like a splitter cable on a like a 3.5mm jack headset that plugs into the top, or you know, something like that. So you don't need that unless you're playing with that. And with this headset specifically, you don't even need it. Now this is where I found success in THX Spatial working on Warzone. People have this set to default device. I have switched it over to default communications device, and it's so far worked for me, and a lot of people have seen that THX is working at full potential. So definitely just set it there for now and leave it, and obviously test audio if you're talking with friends and stuff like that to see if they're hearing you pretty well. But I heard that was the only issue that happens out of it, but I haven't even had that issue happen with me on my end. People hear me fine, and in party and Discord, whatever, it works fine no matter what, for me at least. But I do have open mic enabled as well because I don't want to push to talk when I'm playing with you know, the other people that are on my team, like console players that don't have that option. Again, if you're really curious, I have open mic threshold at 1, but that's because this is the open mic that's being used. Not the greatest of you know, not the greatest of thresholds because they can hear literally everything, but it's fine. Voice chat volume is at 63. That's just personal again. It depends on how you want to hear audio versus your teammates. I personally prefer like my teammates to be just clear enough at the right times, but like obviously in a gunfight, I want my audio to be fucking as good as I can, and they're behind it. You know what I mean? Microphone volume 100. Voice chat effect, obviously turn that off. You don't want that, and that's it for audio. Bar none. Very, very straightforward video, but again, studio reference is this is the most important things. Change this to default communications device, test this yourself, and obviously studio reference, and give that a go, and just make sure all your audio is turned all the way up in every fucking game. Simple as that. So, master volume and effects volume at 100, that's the most important ones too. So, studio reference, dynamic home theater, you can play with it. The dynamic home theater seems louder, but it just seems like everything's louder, and it's kind of weird, because like even your own footsteps might muddle a sound of enemy footsteps. Studio reference seems to be the point where if you like pause for a second, like you're like aiming at a window, pause for a second, without music playing, by the way, too, because music will hinder audio, which I've noticed. So when I don't play with music and I hear somebody literally just come through the downstairs, like literally 2 stories down, and they're literally in the little basement room and they're fucking walking, you will hear that sound, and a lot of people won't hear that sound. That headsets won't pick that up, but this headset will, and that's the biggest thing. This is why I say audio is king with this headset, because you're not going to find that in a headset for this price point, other than something that's like maybe a fucking Bayer Dynamic that's over like $300-$400 or whatever the Audio-Technica headsets are for audiophiles. You're not going to find that quality other than literally spending that kind of money and having an amp and everything. So love this headset. It's amazing. Let's get back to it. I can still out of Call of Duty now. I'll tell you guys my audio settings in chat, or in comments, about my Cold War settings, because I just don't want to pull that up right now. We're already at the 28-minute mark. I'm about to hit this up for 30 minutes and then we're good. But yeah, I will, if you guys have questions about Cold War, I will just comment in the comment section of Cold War. And if you guys do want to see other videos regarding like Rainbow Six Siege and Valorant and other games like that, I will do full-on in-depth testing for that and make videos on those specifically, because you guys love these THX spatial videos. But now you guys know the review of this headset. You guys have a lot to look forward to, and if you guys have questions about THX, you know where to come. You know I reply in comments. Sometimes I might be late because I'm a busy guy. I got a lot of things going on in my life, but you know, I'll try to reply as best as I can. And again, all the support is appreciated. I know we're slowly growing this channel, but it's been mainly my THX spatial videos that's been growing this channel, but the content's there, and that's what I want to be known for. So I'm glad that I can help you guys, but the growth really needs to go into all the hard work and dedication I put into my efforts of streaming. So I would appreciate it ever so greatly if you guys help me out with that. And again, thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully this helps. I'm telling you right now, it helped me. I hope it helps you. Reddit didn't give me answers. No other website gave me answers. This gave me answers by doing it myself, and now you guys have the answers for yourself. Buy your guys' Razer Blackshark V2, V2 Pro. Trust me, you'll love it. All right? Take it easy, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Adios.